people here. So we're just going to wait. Hi, thanks for joining me. Hi, Mary Lou. Have you got snow, blowing crazy snow up there like we do here today? We have 4 people on, I think 5 coming, so we'll just give 1 more minute and see if one person can get on. And then we'll get started. Say hi if you're here so I know who's here. Oh, lucky you, Mary Lou. It's just like a freaking blizzard down here today. Hi, Della. Glad you could make it. Okay. All right. We're probably going to be fairly quick today because I'm not feeling the greatest. But anyways, we're going to have some fun and see what we can do. So welcome to Sunday Snapshots again. Just a reminder, there won't be one next week. I'll be in Ottawa celebrating my granddaughter's birthday, so won't be here next week. Hi, Anne-Marie. Thanks for joining us. Okay, let's get started. So let me get this out of the way. And today we're going to do some different types of quilting, quilted look cards. I tried 3 or 4 different styles, and I just got so busy. It was so much fun playing, doing a bunch of different things. But anyways, I'm going to show you a few different styles. Hi, Pam. Hi, Stella. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is called a pinwheel. And of course, we aren't doing the colors that I show you because I like to do them different. I think we are doing one card today that's exactly the same color as I show you. But anyways, this is what we're doing first. And this is called a pinwheel. And I tried to keep the cards as simple as I could because I didn't want it to take away from the quilting part of it. So I'm going to move my camera down a little bit. I just feel like I'm too far away here. There, let's see how that works. Okay, so to start, what you need is, let me sit this up here and hopefully we can keep it still in view while we start. So you need this. What you need to start with is 2 5/8 by 2 5/8 inch squares. Okay, I'm probably going to use my grid paper. Oh, let me just flip this over because I kind of don't do centimeters. I still need inches. I do it the old way. Okay, so I'm probably going to use my grid paper just a little bit. So to start off with, you can do square if you want. It doesn't have to be in any particular spot. We know this is 2 5/8, so I'm not really measuring. I'm just kind of making sure that my lines are straight. And we're going to put a little tiny bit of snail just in the center. And then we're going to mount our other one on top. And this is going to give us, so if you've got this straight and about halfway, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, we're pretty darn close. Then if you mount your corners and keep the corner, let's count this way, 1 2 3 4 5, 1, yeah, we're good. So I'll keep my corner on that line and this corner on this line. And if these are the same, then we should have pretty much the same. And it doesn't matter if it's not absolutely perfect, but that's kind of what you want to start with, is that shape. So then I have 8 pieces of 1 1/4 inch by 1 1/4 inch, and they're 2 different patterns. So we'll just lay those out. I wanted to do something in black and white and red this time. So there's our 2 patterns. And you don't have to use 2 patterns. You could use all different ones if that's what you wanted to do. But the look I wanted to get, this sort of look today, to get the pinwheel look, I just did the 2 patterns. Now I'm going to use, there's lots of ways you can do this. You can use glue. You can use and some of the cards we're going to do, you could actually use the double-sided sticky sheets that we have. But for this particular one, because you don't want to glue them completely flat down to start with, I'm going to use the runner tape. So no direction, it doesn't matter how it goes, but starting out and ending those 2, you want to make sure that you only do your sticky in the middle. And it doesn't matter which corner you pick, just pick a corner. We're going to leave a little, I hope I'm in view here, a little tiny red border around. And then we're going to place that one there. And then your next pattern, same idea, although you could put a little bit more of the sticky tape on this one. I played with so many different ways of putting these things on, and I found out that it doesn't really matter what you do, it's all messy. So now you're going to go to this other corner. So don't worry about this line, you're doing the corners. So again, leave your little tiny border around there. And then back to your other one, and you're just going to go all the way around. And this is the order that you need to do them in. Like you need to go around like this. You can turn this. It doesn't matter how you do it. But again, so our other little border there. And then our other one. This other side would be pretty too. We could have used that side as well. And then again, this little corner. Looks a little messy when you're doing it, but you'll see when we're done how it ends up. We're just going to go completely all the way around. Now this is the last one. And this is why you didn't want to seal this one down completely. Because we actually, oh, is this the last one? Wait a minute, maybe this is the second to last one. This is the second to last one. So hang on, one more. We're going to do this one first. Leave our little border. And then because you have to tuck this last one in under here, that's why we didn't want to solidly put that first one down, so that we can get into this where we have to put it for this little corner. My hands are kind of in the way. I'm trying to keep them out and tuck this in here and still get, now I may even have to feel that back a little bit more. Just get this with, so we still have our little border. Come on, cooperate here. And then stick that back down over top. And then you may have to go around. I had to go around a little bit with my glue and just put a couple of dots of glue in a couple of different places, just so I made sure that it was held down well. So there, maybe I'll put one here. But other than that, it looks pretty solid. I guess I need to hold that for a minute. Wipe that excess glue off there. Okay, so that's basically our design, our pinwheel design. And I'm going to actually, no, I did some of this card ahead of time. So just because I knew that we didn't want to run too long today. So I have a white card base. I have a black piece that's 5 and, hang on, what did I do this one? Excuse me. An eighth of an inch. I left an eighth of an inch border. So 4 1/8. Is that right? My goodness. And I've got this upside down. 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I think 5 3/8. Okay. So that's what I did. And I've embossed this with my, what is it called? It's called Layered Leaves Dynamic Embossing Folders. I found through this whole process, I don't have as many embossing folders as I would like to have. So I've actually ordered a couple today. Just because if the ones I have, I didn't really like for this purpose that we were doing, what we were doing today. So I'm just going to mount this on our white. And again, I kept this simple because I want the quilted piece to be the focus of the card, basically. So we're going to mount this, and I did pop this up a little bit. You can mount it however you want. You can mount it flat and square. I wanted it on an angle, so I thought it looked a bit more like a star done on an angle. So let's just get some sheets and pop that up there. This is a really quick card, actually, once you get your little pinwheel made. And even that didn't take very long. Great, great thing to use up your scraps. Really is. Really good way to use up all your scraps. And then in the center, I just put one of my little red daubies here. So then I had a piece left over of this center piece, and I just wanted something to add. I didn't want to add a lot of ribbon or embellishments to these cards. I wanted to keep them fairly simple, so there isn't even a whole lot of stamping on the two that we're going to be making. So place that on there, and then I've already stamped my sentiment, but I need my, what did I do with it now? I need my layered stamps, or my layered punch, and I thought I had it out already. Oh, you try to get organized, and you're all organized. Oh, there it is, right in front of me. Okay. So I just did the double layered punch. Yours is on order, Mary Lou. I ordered it today. Okay, so we're just going to mount this on here. And we'll pop that up. And basically, that's it. I think I'll put it on this side this time. So there's the one I did previously. Looks exactly the same, basically. But that's a really quick little card, but the pinwheel quilting part looks really, really nice. Now, I did not run this through the embossing folder, but I did on this one. So you really can't tell a whole lot of difference unless you're feeling it. But I ran it through this one, the same embossing folder as I did this one. But with the patterns as busy as they are, you really don't notice it that well anyway. So that's why I didn't worry about it this time, just for a matter of saving time. So there's the two that I did in the pinwheel pattern. The two different. I thought this looked very springy. I like the colors on that one too. So, okay. So next, I'm going to just stand those up there if they'll stay there. So next, we're going to do, this one is called the Star. Okay, so this is actually the one we're going to be making today. I'm actually doing it that color. We're going to need that again, so I'm just going to put it over here. All right. So I do have all my parts and pieces. We're going to use some garden green. And I will show you another one that I did previously. You can make these any size you want. You can make your squares or whatever it is your pieces that you're using different sizes so that you can make the card bigger if that's what you want to do. On this one, I've just got a normal A2 card is what I started with. And the piece that I'm doing the star quilt on is 4 by 4.25 by 4.25, just to give a little bit extra around the outside. I cut mine out after I got it done, just because I like the look of it a little bit differently. So that's what we're going to do today. So we need my piece in here. I got all these pieces. So there's my 4.25 by 4.25. Don't know why I have an envelope in here. Don't want one. And then my background, I use my brick embossing folder, just very, very lightly. I didn't run it through so that it was deep. I wanted it fairly light. So that's what's going to go on our background. And we're going to use a white base for our card. This is just a punch out, I think. So what I have here is 2 different patterns. And I'm going to use this side and this side. So we're just going to get all our pieces here. That's for the background. And for this one, you need 4 of each square. And these are 1-inch squares. So you need 4 each of 2 different patterns. So that one and that one. Okay. Now for this one, you are going to want to use your grid. And this piece is 4 by 4. So this is pretty easy. We're just going to go in the middle. Or sorry, it's 4.25. So 2 1/8 by 2 1/8. And you're going to be, this is going to be your middle. Now, I did use my ruler and a pencil for this one, just because I wanted a point where I could start. And I'll show you why. So very, very lightly. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to cut it off. If I was going to leave it on the, where's my 0 there? There's my line. Let's move it up a bit. If I was going to leave it on this white, I wouldn't want the pencil mark to be all the way. But because I decided to cut this, then it doesn't really matter. But I'm just going to do it really light anyway, so I could rub it off afterwards if I wanted to. Flip it around, do 2 1/8, 2 1/8, and again your center. Another light mark. Okay. So you're going to work from the starting. You need a starting point here. That's why I did this. And yet I have to look at this one while I'm doing it, because I have to tell you I did a couple of them and they did not start out right. So the very first thing we have to do is we have to cut all of our pieces in half. So each of your 1-inch squares, you're just going to cut them in half. I could have done this ahead of time, but I didn't bother. I wonder if I can do all these without them moving. You watch. We'll give it a shot. Okay. All right. So you need one of each, and you're going to start it so that the point meets the point here. But the goal is I'm just going to lay these two down so you can see. You want a flat bottom. So if you were to put it on like this, that would be wrong. You wouldn't have a flat bottom. You want a flat bottom. So you're going to mount your first two exactly like that. So you have a nice flat bottom piece there. Now this one, I found it easier. You could definitely have put a piece of the sticky paper on here and done it that way, but I found that every time I put my hand somewhere, it stuck and it was annoying as the dickens. So I just used my tape runner and I just ran a few pieces in the area that I was working in. I found that that worked better and I wasn't always sticking somewhere. Okay, so we're going to put this up against our line with our corner right in the corner and trying to keep it as straight as I can. And then the other one exactly the same way. And there's a bit of forgivability here because you want to keep it straight, but it's not, even your cutter isn't going to cut everything exactly perfectly. So now finish your squares, but each one has the two different patterns. So I'm going to take this one and make this a square again. And then this one over here, whoops, and make this a square again. And then we're going to work from here. So this one is going to, oh no, we want a different one there. We want this one here. Oh, I better put some. Now I got a spot I can hold where it's not sticky too, so that's perfect. Okay, so this one, again, we want this straight line here. So we're going to put this one on this way. And then the other pattern this way. That looks a little, those lines make that look a little crooked, but anyways, now we want this one. Let me see how I did this. Yep, so like this. And these lines are going different directions. That does not make any difference whatsoever. It's not a pattern that I would worry about how you're doing this. You just want to get that effect when you're done. Okay, so now you've got a square within squares within a square. So now you're going to do your points. So again, it's how you want your points to do. If you wanted your points to go up this way and they were joined, you could, but it looks more like a star if they go up from the other side. So let me just run this up here. So I'm going to keep, for now, I'm going to keep this line straight and I'm going to create one point here. Not with that one. That's the wrong color. Try this over here. Wow, I'm glad I caught that before I got too solid. And then you want your other point on here to be this pattern. Okay, do the same from the bottom. I think we need a bit more tape down here. Oops, messy. As I say, I'm making a bit of a mess, but I'm going to cut it off anyway, so I'm not all that worried. So that one goes there, and then this one goes here. And then your side pieces, the same idea. You want this one. I better run some in there. So you want this one to go this way. And this one, hang on, let me just get this right here. Nope, that's not how I want it. I want my angle inside. So what am I doing wrong? Give me another piece. That's bothering me. It's not working right. Okay, what did I do? There we go. There we go. You just got to play with it till you get it. That's not right. That's not right. I want my angles on my angled one. What did I do wrong? See, there we go. There we go. All right. And then on this side, we want this one here, but I want my point out. That is not right. This is correct. And then this one, flat along here with my point going. Is this correct? Why does that not look right? I guess it is. Yes. Okay. So there's our star. So I didn't want all that white behind there, so I just proceeded to cut that out. It's pretty quick. These are my scissors that I can use with all the mucky, sticky bits because they don't seem to care. They always work well, whether they're sticky or not. And make sure that corner stuck down there. I think I need a little bit of tape there. Okay, let's get rid of those. Hi, Karen. Thanks for joining us. Okay, why is that still not stuck there? I'm not happy about that. There we go. Make sure they're down before I cut them. Oops. As I say, you don't have to cut these out. I just wanted them. I didn't want the background. I didn't want the white background there. You could also cut them and leave a little bit of a white border if you wanted to. If you decided you wanted to cut your star out. Sorry, you have to watch me fussy cut here. Probably would go a little faster if I didn't have stickiness all over it, but we'll just do what we can here. So Karen, how's your weather this morning? We got snow and blowing snow and terrible weather. Okay, so there's our star quilt. Now again, you can definitely run this through an embossing folder. I'm not going to for now, because the purpose are just to show you how to make these quilts, not necessarily to spend time embossing, so I'm not going to do that. But we are going to mount this. The tape runner's getting towards the end, so it's getting a little finicky here. So let's mount the green on. This would be a nice St. Patrick's Day card, even though it isn't a shamrock. And then I popped this up. Be generous with them. And build the dimensionals. Okay, so now, and again, you can turn this however you want. Let's put it on a bit of an angle this time. That's not, because it's going to stick over the card and we don't really want it to stick over the edges. So let's just do it this way. Okay, so then, again, I did the little, I've already stamped my sentiment, and I just used my oval punch. In this particular case, I just put a piece of the pattern paper behind it. Try and get that straight, just because I liked the look of that. Bringing that paper into the bottom, pop that up too. And just tuck that just underneath there, corner of the star. And then I put some embellishments on there. I don't have them here. And I did a little green butterfly, which again, I'm not going to do. So this is the finished card. Let's get these out of the way here. Which is simple. Again, it's very simple. I think it would lend itself to definitely being embossed and having that embossing on the actual star itself as well. Okay, so that's number 2. So that's a star. Let's get rid of this garden green here. R, where's our R's? Don't even have any R's. Oh, okay. Okay. So the next ones, we're just going to do the quilting part, and we aren't going to make the cards I'm going to show you. Oh, I should show you the other card I made in the same pattern as this one, and I used some peachy colors, and I really liked how that looked. This is a bigger card, so my star looks a little smaller on there, so I did 3 layers instead of just the 1 layer with the same sort of sentiment, but I did a little flower out of, I think that's out of the Hello, what's it called? Hello something stamp set out of the new mini catalog. And then I used our technique that we used last week, and I colored some vellum and punched them out with my one of my leaf punches, and just added that to the back of it just to make it a little bit fancier than the other one was. So that's the 2 with the pinwheel. Okay, so then the next one I did was same sort of card, but done 2 different ways, and I'll show you some examples of that. So this is kind of going to be a springy one. So I'm going to show you the examples after we're done. I need this. I don't necessarily need that. Okay, so with this one, I started with a piece that is the same as your next layer would be. So 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, just under 5 1/2. Yeah, 5 3/8. That's what I started with, because we're actually going to do this whole card. No need to do your lines and find a center or anything. This is just random, and you're just randomly going to do whatever you want. But again, with this one, I took my my tape runner, wherever it went, and I just found it easy. So I'm going to put my first strip right across here. So I just found it easy to run a few strips of this and work in one direction first and then go the other direction. So my strips are all, I believe, 3/4 of an inch. Let me just double check. Yes, 3/4 of an inch. Where's an inch? Yeah, you could do 1/2 inch. You could do some 1/2 inch, some 3/4, some an inch, whatever you like. This is a smaller card, so I think inch strips, probably you're not going to get as many on if you do it that way. But you're basically just going to start anywhere, and you're going to run a strip across there, and then maybe I'll do one more. Let's choose a patterned one. Whoops. And let me just get some more. And I just didn't want to have to glue all of these strips separately. I could have, but I just didn't want to. I think my let's get our sticky mat. That'll help us here. So make sure that we're stuck right at the edge, because we're going to cut this off afterwards. Okay, so let's go with this one. And again, you can see this one is one that I've used before, so maybe not yet because it's not long enough. Let's pick the flowered one here. I don't know if you can see my strips that I've got in here. And I'm just doing random strips, butting them right up against each other. And then we're going to leave that, and we're going to go another direction. And then I'm going to do Let's use this one this way. Okay. Let's just glue the strip. It might be easier that way. Keep it on my little pad here so I'm not making a mess. Okay, so let's just go. And you can go whatever direction you want, but I'm going to go this way with this one. Okay, so now let's work from this space. So here's a nice little striped one, and that looks long enough. No, too much blue beside the blue. Let's get a green one in there. Yeah. Although I like the darker green, so let's find a piece that has more dark green. There we go. And we're going to go. I should have my other one on here too. That would help me, and then I can work on it with this part. That makes more sense. All right, so these ones, I'm going to switch direction. Am I going to switch direction? No, I'm going to stay this way. For a while, anyways. And let's do a pink one now. I'm going to run out of that tape. You just watch. No, not the glue everything. Now we're getting into some of the shorter ones. So let's just snip this one. And you can play with these however you want. So I don't really want that blue against that blue because it's too much the same. So I'm just going to snip that off, and I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to run my yellow there. I guess I'm going to have to use glue. That's running out. So I'll just put a bit of glue on here. I'll know what we're doing. Going that way. Okay. So let's start the yellow there. And we got a little piece here, so we're going to find we're going to wait till we have a little end, and we're going to fill that in. Then on this side, we're going to go the other way. I'll get off there. With, let's see, what else have we got we haven't used yet? Got lots of different colors here. Let's try this, another one of these blues. I'll do it over there. So basically, you're just going to fill your card in whatever direction you want, starting off in one, and then in one direction. And you want to try not to have too many little tiny corner pieces. That can be a bit of a pain. Let's do another one of these ones. I'm just going to rip that in half because I don't need the whole thing. We'll go that way. And then we don't want a flower. Oh, this is a random one I had stuck in there. Kind of like that one. Great, great way to use up all your scraps. And this I think this is called abstract art that all of these pieces are from. And these sheets are a different size. They're 4 by 7, I believe, as opposed to 6 by 6. It's something that they've come out with in this mini catalog. All right, let's put a little green one here. And, oops, get up there against there. That's what I like about the glue. At least it gives us a minute to move stuff around. What have we got here? Well, we don't have a bright pink one down here. And here's a little tiny pink piece that might fit perfect in there. Just going to make sure I got some glue on it too. Oh, not quite long enough, so we'll use it on this end. And then I'll put a bit of the darker blue here on this end. Let's use this side. I like this side better. Okay. So because we've used glue, we're going to have to give that a few minutes to dry. Now up here, we don't have another one of these. Let's use a flower. And another blue one, because I do like this blue. And I think I did the card that I'm going to show you. I did it on a navy, night of navy background. So, okay. So I need one piece for over here. I don't really want blue, and I don't really want pink. Let's see if I can find another piece of that polka dot. There we go. So there you go. So there's your piece. Looks kind of gangly, but we're just going to flip it over. Use our trusty scissors that cut in the, even though it's gluey. And we're going to cut these pieces all off. Some of them might be worth keeping. Some of them won't be worth keeping. But some of the longer pieces, if you want, you could keep to do the next card when you have a small spot. Now this one, because it's all over that entire piece, it does lend itself really well to being embossed. And it looks really nice once it's embossed, but I think it's really pretty. Okay, let's get rid of all of our scraps so we can see what we've done. I'm not going to keep these little pieces because I probably won't do this. I've got quite a few of these cards now, so I probably won't do any for a little while. So just so that we got a clean surface here. All right, so that's what you've got. That's what it looks like. It's quite pretty. And as I say, if you emboss it, you're going to get a really nice embossed look. And I'm going to hang on to these pieces for a minute because I'm going to show you one other way with those same strips to do another one. So these are the cards that I made. This is the one that I made out of some different papers. I really like this gingham. So I made an Easter card with this one. Thought he looked kind of cute. Just took the little chick out of the one Easter set and popped him up. He's popped up a little high. I think I shouldn't have put him up quite that high. But again, fairly plain. And I used my rectangular stitch die. So that I don't know if you can see that, but there is some little stitching around there. And I did not emboss this one. Actually, the actual one. I've embossed behind. The green piece behind is basket weave embossing, but I didn't actually emboss the actual quilted portion of it. And then with the same colors we did this morning, this is the one I did, and I kept it very, very simple, but I did put it on that blue. I liked it on the Night of Navy blue. And I used a cutout. I used my layering ovals to cut out the center of it. I did emboss this one. I don't know if you can see it very well. I used the basket weave one and just embossed it really lightly, so it's you can't see it a whole lot, and just put a sentiment in the center of it. I wanted to keep it very plain, and not take away from the quilting itself, but I didn't want to waste the piece that I'd cut out of there. So I took that piece, backing of one of those sheets of abstract paper, and the piece that I cut out, and I just did a little bit of a different technique with this one. And I had another piece that another card that I wanted to show you. Oh, it's one of the other ones that I'm going to show you before. That what I did was, I just wanted to get a different look. So I'm just going to show you. I just took my ruler and ran my ruler straight across where, like, these aren't all little squares. They're lines. But if you want to make them look like little squares, just take your ruler. And I took my black marker and I ran my black marker along there on all these ones that went that way, and then I twisted it, and using that 3/4 inch, I just did 3/4 inches black lines going this way, and that's what you got this look for, with what looks like it's bordered with black. And I kind of liked that look. I thought it looked kind of pretty, just something different. And this was a circle cut out of another one that I had done, and I just added some little butterflies on there, and again with my double oval punch, and made that second card. So those three cards with that style done. Now the other way that you can do it with those using those same strips, and I don't even know if I have a piece of white that I can show you on. Let me just grab it. I think I stuck it down here. Yep. Just going to quickly show you. I'm not going to do one, but I'm going to show you how it works. You just take your strips and you put them on in a herringbone design. So start out with a V. Doesn't really matter where you start. And you want your two pieces to be of your V to be. You don't have to be, but if they are the same, that's better. That's a little bit wider. Now let's just use the wide ones, and some of these are wider. So you start out with the V like this. So you want to make sure that you're butted up against that one like that. And then you go on with your other colors. So you're going to go here and here. Oops, I got one. And then you're going to go up the other way and fill up the other way. And you're going to get this similar herringbone look. This piece in here, you can't really see it very well, but I challenged myself to use some of those papers that we made where I made the background, and the colors that were in it kind of went with it. So I just threw them in there as well. And again, you don't have to have, you could just do 2 patterns. You could do 3 or 4 patterns, whatever you wanted to do. And I didn't make a card with this one. I just wanted to show you that that's another look that you could do. And that's called the herringbone look. Okay, so that's that one. So that's the herringbone or the strip one. And then the last one that I did is called, it's another type of pinwheel. And this one was a little trickier, and I'm going to show you my samples that I did it wrong. When I first did it, I did it wrong. So we had, again, I have a 4x4 piece to start with. I'm just going to show you my cards after here. And I have a 1-inch square to start with. So again, with this one, you're going to want to do it's just the same thing, 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. You're going to want to do that X like we did with the other one with your pencil. And that's just so that you can get it started properly. Because once you start, it doesn't matter, but just to get it started properly. And then we're going to flip it around. I hope I'm in the spot where you can see it. I'll put it up here now that I got a line there. And then down the center again. Am I in the center though? Oh, no, we'll go that way a little tiny bit. There we go. So now I got a center to start with. Get rid of my pencil. Okay, so with this one, you're starting with a 1-inch square in the middle. Now, the trick is don't put your 1-inch square on like this because the design won't work out if you do, and I'm going to show you that. I did that on my first card. Whoops, I did that one correctly. Oh, I didn't. I guess I didn't keep the one that I did wrong. But you want to put your square on this way. And the reason for that is, so your points and your points. And so we're just going to put that right on. So you want your points to go here. And keep those points there. So that's your guide, just to make sure that you've got it in the right position. Now, again, you've got strips. And these ones I made a little bit smaller. I think these are only 1/2-inch strips. Or not even, they're 1/4-inch strips. I wanted the strips to be smaller. So you're going to work around this square. So you're going to start at one corner of the square. I'm going to use glue for this one. It's a little slower, but it can be a bit more precise. So just at the edge of your square there, and you're going to run that strip this way. And then you're going to turn, and you're going to, it doesn't really matter which way you turn. So now you're going to run your next strip. I'm going to do it so I can show you what it looks like when it's done. Once you get the first ones in, you're fine, but it's the first ones that have to be right. Then you're going to run this strip this way, this strip this way, and this strip this way. So you have 4 corners coming off. Now what, if I hadn't done it the right way, if I'd done this, then you've got, this is, see how you've got it wrong? It's going to have to cross over. And so you don't want that. So that's why you're going to do it by going around in one direction. So this one's going to go this way, this one's going to go this way, and the other one's going to go off the end. So as long as you've got 4 going off the paper in different directions, you're probably going to be okay. But that was the mistake I made at the first part when I did the first one. I just made it work. I think I made a card out of it, but I didn't finish it. So we're going to go this way. And I see we have 8 people on now. Great, thanks. I wonder who they are. Say hello so I know who's here. Hi, Janet. Friendly hello. Thank you very much. I need my sticky thing back here again. Okay, so now we're going to run this way. And this way. Now I only used 2, I think I used actually 3 different patterns in this one. You can do 2, you can do 3, but I think I did 3. I want to make sure I have enough of the black to go all the way around. If not, I have some extra to cut. So let's try this one next. Let's go this way. It looks like some of them. My cutter does, well, I'm going to say it's my cutter. It could be me, I suppose, but it doesn't always cut straight and exactly the way I want it to go. So now you're just going to follow this around again, butting those up against there. And the quilters in the group who already are quilters, they'll know exactly what we're doing. They've probably done this a zillion times, but I don't want to wreck that black one. All right, well, we're just going to do it anyways. These were such pretty colors. I grabbed this paper out. This is the Magnolia paper, and I loved it when it was out before. It's still really pretty in my mind. Can't get it anymore, though. And I learned something doing this. I learned that I don't have a lot of earth colors. I seem to buy paper in bright colors, spring colors, flowery colors, but I don't buy a lot of earth colors. So I was trying to make my son one of these, and I wanted, I will show you the one I ended up making him, but I wanted an earthy color, and I don't have any. So I'm going to have to do that. Okay, so there. So I'm going to go back to the black now. I'm going to do the black again. Here. If I run short, I probably can cut some of these off here and use them. 2 more. That's why I'm not putting the glue all the way to the end, just in case I have to fill in some spots with some of the black ones. Oh, hang on, where am I? That was black. This one, I want to go this side. And that one. And this one. Okay. Just pull that off there before it sticks on there completely. Oh, it's messy. Okay, so now I'm going to go to that little polka dot one again. And you just continue on until your card is completely covered. So now that you can see, I'm probably not going to finish it just because you can see what we're doing. Fill in your little holes and you're going to get your card. And when you're done, unfortunately, I can't show you because I cut this one up as well. But, all right, so you can see what's going to happen and what you've got as far as your quilting look is concerned. Again, emboss that one for sure. That's going to look really pretty embossed. So these are the cards that I did with that. And again, I used my ovals and cut out the center of it. I did do that black marking on this one because I wasn't happy with how this turned out originally. I just didn't like the looks of it. So I went ahead and did the black lines like I showed you on the other one. This is just a negative piece from one that I've cut out with my scalloped layers. And just didn't want to waste either one of them. So this one I just put the other color behind it and used the outside, the negative part of that one. I embossed on the vellum and put it on, but I can still see a little bit of the glue through there, and I think that's because it's on black. So these ones have a little more on them than the other ones did, but basically I'm happy with what they looked and then how they turned out. And then the other one that I did do, and I didn't show you how to do it today, but it's just a basic quilt box, and I made this one for my son for his birthday, and I did that in navy. So that was just basically starting in the center and working out with your blocks, just keeping your squares. And the way it worked out, I have these pieces so that I could square it and not have a square. I didn't want a square. I wanted more of an octagon shape. I think that's what that is. And I used my happy birthday dies, and this was a little bit more of a masculine card, but as I said, I didn't have a whole lot of masculine colors. So anyways, those are the ones that we did today. So those are what would we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ways of doing quilting, and there's hundreds more out there. So there's our peach one, there's our green one, there's our Easter, and then there's our black and white. Can't get them all in. We got so many here. As I say, I got started and I couldn't really stop. I was having so much fun. So there's the other ones there. So I think you can see all of them now. We're pretty close to seeing all of them. I think we did this a little bit shorter today than we did normally. And I hope thanks for stopping in. And again, a reminder that I will not be here next week at 2:30. I'll be back the following week. This will be up. The Facebook video will be here, and then I'll put it on YouTube later so that it'll be there on YouTube as well. When you go to YouTube, please subscribe if you haven't already, and share the video from YouTube. I'm trying to get as many YouTube subscribers. I actually have a competition with my granddaughter who has way more than I have, even though she just started. So anyways, thanks for coming in today. I'm going to go sit in my chair and relax now, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye for now.